What's up guys? Welcome to AnimeKouhai. If you'd like to help me out, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.
While Laplace was present, they subtly remained silent about it, but now they openly expressed their concerns to me.
You know, Master Hakuro is correct. In addition, if need be, I'm willing to die for Sir Rimuru. You know, I'd kinda be a meat shield.
Gobta.
Ah, a meat shield, perhaps? I just couldn't help but see that happening. I wish I hadn't, really.
Hakuro, stop teaching Gobta things like that.
Sure, that. I simply believed that it was crucial to teach him how to be ready for such occurrences.
I realized what Hakuro was trying to say. My heart simply didn't concur with it.
I mean, I'm happy that all of you care about me, but you all mean a lot to me as well. I don't want to start off with a plan that counts on us suffering losses. I believe we should combine all of our resources for this effort if we want to prevent that.
True, indeed. We might be getting ahead of ourselves a little.
I'm not sure how many individuals I was able to persuade. Hakuro appears to have the support of everyone, including Benimaru. Maybe I would feel the same way if I were them. However, even though I respect the idea, I still don't want anyone to perish here. I know it's selfish of me, but I want to prioritize my emotions.
Anyway, I won't employ a plan that necessitates any human casualties. As we debate the last phases of our conflict with the Empire, let's continue to operate under that presumption.
After I spoke, everyone nodded. Regardless of their emotions, they appeared willing to take part in this conversation.
Sir Rimuru, if I may begin.
Yes, Zoe?
I've got a replication of myself hiding out in the Empire. I've encountered a few challenges that have kept me from getting to the city just yet. However, it appears that their security system is less tight than normal. Once Laplace arranges the transportation, I was considering using shadow motion to meet with you. Would that be acceptable?
I see. That's genuinely comforting. That really sinks in when things like this happen, and so he always serves me well as my watchdog. He's also a fantastic combatant, and when I looked at him more closely, he also evolved on me. He had changed from being an Oni to being a species known as a Dark Soul Ogre. Presumably, this was a benefit brought about by Benimaru's evolution. He was brought up in the Ogre homelands as Benimaru's shadow, the yin to his yang, and even though there was a clear hierarchy between them, they were still close companions. In other words, he was Benimaru's natural counterpart, which is why he was so greatly impacted by the latter's awakening. The system that drove this evolution must have viewed Zoe as his subordinate, but it didn't matter because they still treated one another equally. Chaos elementals with the darkness trait are known as Dark Soul Ogres. Zoe evolved into a spiritual life form with a human frame, much like Benimaru. So, Benimaru has some sort of subordinate deity? His magicule count was medium, not massive. It was nothing compared to Benimaru's, but it was still greater than Clayman's in his half-awakened condition. I consider that to be sufficient power, and I was confident that he could hold his own against ex-demon lords like Frey or Caroline. Perhaps his increased strength is what has enabled him to so far elude the Empire's security. Well, I'm okay with either option. I was just happy to have Zoe with me, but that also raised doubts about Masayuki's security.
That offer, Zoe, is incredibly comforting. What about Masayuki, though?
I'll continue keeping an eye on him through a replication of mine. I believe I am capable of handling whatever comes up.
He sounded assured. In that scenario, Diablo added,
Maybe I could install Venom as Masayuki's companion? I believe Venom could serve as both a bodyguard and a monitor if we keep it hidden from the kid. That would reduce Soei's workload and offer additional protection.
I like that concept. Venom was getting along well physically and had a very sensible, non-demonic disposition. I had the impression that he and Masayuki would get along well, possibly even developing close friendships. It seemed like a really cool concept.
Keep in mind that your second in command would not be accessible.
That won't cause any issues. The presence of Testarossa and the others won't have any impact on my own work at all.
That's fantastic, then.
Zoe, are you okay with that?
Perhaps providing a visible bodyguard would be more reliable than watching him in the background. Additionally, I would be able to conserve the energy that replication uses.
Excellent. Let's get going.
Okay, then let's move in that direction.
Yes, my lord.
I'll begin right away.
Therefore, Venom would accompany Masayuki, and Zoe would join us at the location. The only choice remaining is whether and how to send our army into battle.
Do you believe we'd need to demonstrate our strength to the Empire as we battle alongside Dwargon?
Once they had retrieved all the corpses, we went home with our 1st and 3rd Army Corps. They had all of their troops stationed in Rimuru, our capital. The 2nd Army Corps, however, was unable to move because their commander, Geld, was still dozing off during an evolution, which translates to,
Sir Rimuru, may we enter here?
Wait a minute, whoa. We're the first ones to leave.
Gabble, I anticipated it, but it was unusual to see Gobta this enthused about something. But unlike the previous time, I thought it was too dangerous to depend on our collective strength. I wouldn't try a big assault that would involve too many of my allies if we were fighting a huge army, but this time, we were more like a SWAT team. They might opt to use nuclear magic to carpet bomb us or subject us to even harsher measures. Armies engaged in magic combat frequently depend on the strength of their legion magic, with teams of elites hurling attacks before that magic is destroyed. However, if the enemy is stronger than a certain threshold, the troops at the end of the line become useless.
Hakuro, what do you think?
Sir Rimuru, I understand precisely what you're thinking, and I believe it to be the correct thought.
Okay, so, no beginners. And we shouldn't let any low-ranking troops in either?
Yes, I think that will minimize casualties.
And so,
Only the goblin riders from my company will participate?
And my team Hiryu will be prepared for battle.
That's exactly what it sounds like. Overall, the Goblin Riders ranked an A for their teamwork. I didn't believe anyone could easily defeat them because they had served as excellent decoys throughout the conflict so far. They were almost impossible to stop once they started running, so I didn't see any problems there. The status of every member of Team Hiryu had also increased since Gabble's awakening. They should be fine, but I'm a little worried about the control they had over their abilities.
alright, I want you two, Gobta and Gabble, to begin preparing along those lines. Oh, hold on a second.
I was about to commit it to stone when I recalled something else crucial.
Gobta, could you guys right now summon your Starwolf partners?
Huh?
Because Ronga is still in the process of awakening. All the wolves beneath him must also be asleep, am I right?
Oh.
Obviously a no in that case.
Right, so you'll be on watch here.
But.
Don't say to me, Gobta, that you were unaware of your limitations.
Sorry.
Gobta was obviously upset about this, but I was powerless to change his mood. The high mobility of the Goblin Riders' Starwolf mounts was one of their primary advantages. Even if every rider had received an A+ without issue, I still couldn't afford to bring them along on this trip.
Hey, you're not to blame. Connect with rigor and concentrate on border protection, alright?
Yes, sir.
Gobta's company was forced to remain here, which they regretted. This meant that the only other soldiers we could send out were
Benimaru, how are Team Kurenai doing?
No issues there. Every single one of them ranked an A.
excellent. They had a great commander in Gobwa, and some of them had even undergone the blessing process to become ogre mages. If we send them out, they should be dependable enough.
How about Team Kurayami, Soe?
They are dispersed throughout the country, collecting information and assessing the threat. If required, I can call them back.
No, keep them at work in the background.
Very well.
There's no need to make them come back. Their espionage operations were crucial, and we should encourage them to continue doing so.
The only option left is Team Reborn.
Sir Rimuru, I'd adore to send them out. They are always prepared and eager to take on more responsibility.
Yeah.
Xian's awakening didn't cause any particularly noticeable changes in her, but Team Reborn's fighting ability had significantly improved, with some members earning an A rating. They were difficult to kill, which was a huge advantage, so I assumed they would prevail in this battle. However, Team Reborn was only truly successful when Xian was present. They'd be rudderless if no one was around to direct them. I reasoned that keeping them at home, much like Gobta's troops, would be less dangerous.
Nah, I believe we should leave them.
Oh no.
As opposed to an army, Team Reborn functions more as a bodyguard force. Xian, I'd feel safer if you were with me.
Ah, I get it.
Xian accepted that with ease. We had our deployment planned out completely by this point. Team Hiryu had 100 members, while Team Kurenai had 300. All told, there were 400 individuals with a rank of A or better, which made for a fantastic little fighting division. Even though they weren't the biggest, no one could ever question their ability in combat. This didn't comfort me enough though.
I have a task for you too, Ultima and Carrera, so listen up.
Oh, definitely. Whatever you want.
My lord, what is it?
Ultima, I want you to continue serving as an intelligence officer with Gabble's force. Carrera, this time, rather than Geld, I'll be giving you assistance duties for Gobwa.
Oh, the lizards again?
Understood. In my post, I'll make an effort to be as covert as feasible.
Their responses didn't precisely inspire confidence in me. Since Carrera didn't seem to be able to maintain a low profile while working on much, I honestly didn't think she could. Ultima appeared to have some issues with Gabble.
Oh my, Ultima, perhaps, do you have a problem with my force?
Yes. Plenty of them. You guys kind of creep me out with the way you behave. From a practical standpoint, it can be challenging to determine what motivates you.
Ha ha ha. Do not be concerned about that. We always approach combat with the utmost seriousness.
And you think it's serious to play with enemy fire during a time of war?
Don't be silly. To have an advantage in battle, it is a good idea to attempt every available tactic. A big part of that is experimentation, which I believe we should all consider seriously.
No, you should complete it before the fight starts. Why do I even need to teach you about this?
I can see why you might have some problems with him. From what I could make out, Ultima also appeared to be in the right.
I apologize, but do you think you could tolerate it this time, at least?
If those are your instructions, Sir Rimuru, I'll follow them as best I can. I anticipated that I would have to teach them quite a few things anyhow, so I'll try to see this as a positive opportunity.
Ultima was just as adorable as always as she assessed Gabble, despite her resentful scowl. Despite the fact that they don't get along, I felt comfortable leaving Gabble in her care.
And as for maintaining a low profile, Carrera, you won't need to worry about it too much.
Oh.
I thought it was fairly ridiculous that she was trying to be discreet here because she was going to start bashing heads in battle anyhow. Instead, I merely desired Carrera to consider the best circumstances for that kind of action.
The most important thing to bear in mind is to protect your allies from harm. After that, just remain silent until the combat begins, okay?
Sure. That seems simple enough.
Is it? I told her I wouldn't make any more requests if she strictly adhered to that one. Hopefully, this would make things easier to resolve, but...
Could you, Hakuro, go with Gobta as well?
Certainly.
Try to control Carrera for me, please.
Hakuro smirked a little while nodding. We had our move planned out, at least that's what I thought until Gadra raised his hand.
If I may be so audacious, Sir Rimuru, I'd like to talk to you about something else.
What's that?
I believe that including the demon colossus in this conflict might be a good idea.
Aha. It's a little difficult to get it out of the labyrinth, but even if it malfunctions, no one will be hurt. I was confident that if necessary, Gadra could escape securely with him in charge of it. He had an emergency return spell, after all, and a resurrection bracelet.
That's it for this video, guys. Thank you for always watching my videos and supporting my channel. Shout out to the new members of AnimeKouhai supporters: Mark Charlie Els, Hansel Ortega, Yellow Wally, Efrain Hernandez, Luga Gaming WTF, William Locke, Jordan Mersha, Wagging Tails, Jay Magsino, Paul DeGrassi. Thank you so much for helping out. I'll see you guys in the next video.